Hey y'all, I'm Brianna Brown Outlaw. I'm a therapist and I'm here to provide you with information on boundaries, how to walk into this new season, and how to do it without looking back, really. We are not looking back at our old selves anymore. And today I want to focus on how to stop showing up to rooms acting like you don't belong there. Stop showing up like you don't belong in the very spaces that God has called you to. All of us have been guilty of it. It comes as something that kind of feels like comfort to us just because it's easier to shrink back than it is to expand. And when you expand, you're like expanding into possible judgment, rejection, denials, being seen. And so today I want to talk about why you should stop doing that to yourself. So for 10 years, I showed up asking how to get in the room, and I was already in the room asking that. Or I showed up at the tables trying to figure out how to be at the tables, but I was already at the tables. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And so during that time, I was asking for permission to thrive instead of just thriving. I was assessing everything and seeing how I could fit in instead of just fitting in where I fit in. And so during that, I think there's a lot of questions of like asking, is this a good idea? Am I enough? Instead of just performing my gifts, like I had already known what I brought to the table, but even at the table, I wasn't using like what I knew. Like I was using my ability to protect and my ability to assess and diagnose, but I was not using my other gifts that I know I'm called to do. I think that the world is a stage. I think that a lot of people get frightened and they walk off stage and then they go and sit in the crowd for comfort. So it's more comfortable and more, you know, less light on me if I just take a step back and just watch people perform, which is what we do every day with social media, with everything. We just watch people perform instead of getting out and like doing our own thing as well. And I want to clarify, I'm not saying perform as in like the last video where I talked about boundaries. I'm saying performing, it's like showcasing your gifts, not people pleasing, performing. This is just simply showing your gifts because the world is a stage. Different opportunities are presented to us, and those are stages. And I think that's something that has helped me to recognize like an opportunity is a stage. It's not just an opportunity. It's literally something that's set up with production, with lights, with people wanting to see how you perform in the given situation. So when people get off of stage and they go and sit in the crowd, it's easier to clap for other people and be proud and feel emotionally charged by whatever they're performing. It's also easier to like boo people and judge people because you're not the one on the stage. So you're not having to carry that weight publicly. We carry it deep down inside, but that's something that only we know that we carry. But I think when you're on stage, it's too bright to be able to focus on anything else. You're too locked in and too focused to be able to focus on whether you fit in or not. You're just there, gonna land where you land at this point. Because if I don't get it up out of me, I'm just gonna stay with it in my head. So a little personal story about people being on stage and kind of being in the crowd. It was me, it was I had a friend, it was about 10 years ago, and she was working with like famous artists, and I would always brag about her to everybody, like, because I just was so proud. I genuinely was like amazed by her. But also, I was like, I wasn't bold enough to get out in front of my own gifts the way that she was at the time. So I just celebrated her instead because it's so easy to repost and like and comment. Oh my God, yes. It's so much easier because it's like, oh, thank you. You kind of took the load off for me. I don't have to show up now. So I did that a lot. And people would like look at me when I would talk about her and be like, okay, like, what does this have to do with you though? Like, that's cool, but like, that's not your gifts. And it was like really embarrassing, but they were right. Like, I was like living in the shadow of someone else's stage because I was just a little bit too scared to like step out on my own. So I think that celebrating other people's boldness is beautiful, but not when you're using it to hide from your own. And I'm gonna just leave that there because I feel like that's like a little sensitive topic, maybe because it's a little vulnerable for me, but it's real and it had to be said. And I just finally got that off my chest. I never talked about that before. I think a healthy way to reframe this kind of internal dialogue and internal anxiety that keeps us stuck and keeps us hidden is noticing that when you get excited for something, like a new idea, like for the dreamers out there, right? We can dream a dream from A to Z, and immediately after the little high is over, you feel like hiding or throwing up. And it's because the spotlight just kind of shined on that part of you. And it's like, oh, wait, whoa, hold on, not yet. I was just thinking about it. But it's real because there's some type of connection that's happening that's showing your potential and your gifts, and that this vision or feeling or dream has its own stage. And that can be very scary and overwhelming in the moment. So to stop that, the best thing to do is not to see that as a stop sign and be like, okay, I'm good, I'm gonna chill, I'm gonna pull back and just wait for that high to come again. It's really the opposite. So you don't wanna stop. You just wanna take action. Just wanna get out and do. Don't let too much thinking go on. Because if you think too much, you're gonna find, that's actually a good point in my head. So if you're really good at dreaming up these things, that means you're probably really good at finding reasons to not do it. So to cut that off, do the dreaming part, and then get up and do it. Just get up and do it. Put yourself out there. Okay. I want to talk about God being in the rooms now. I know that was a little abrupt, but I just had to get in there and get out. Get in there and get out. So about these rooms, right? When we're placed in these rooms, God will place you in the rooms and you'll still question if you're worthy. It will be like, I look back and I'm just like, what was I thinking? I was just thinking too much. That's what it was. I was thinking too much. Because God puts you in these spaces. I'm gonna give y'all a business kind of example. For me, I would have, I had a nonprofit. I don't know if I still say have, whatever. My business, right? I would meet with so many people. God opened so many doors for me to meet with people and have meetings and like learn from them. And it was like I was learning from them and I was collecting all of this data, but it's almost like I was more so collecting evidence as to why I wasn't good enough. So then I would just like learn from more and more and more and more people, or write journals and journals of ideas and dreams. And it just became like a dusty old bookshelf. Nothing came of it. Like it literally just was something to like boost my own ego, I think, or make me feel like I was working towards the dream without fully committing. Yeah, it was a filler. And again, it was like a safety blanket. And I just say it out of passion because I relate with it now and I understand. I ain't gonna do it again. But I understand, looking back, I see how me feeling like I was meeting with people and getting all of this intel and insights, and these are people that have been successful in all of the areas I'm seeking to, provide and show up in. But I just kind of stopped at their stage again. And it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. Because he already answered the question for you to be there. It's like this season is like past praying us into the rooms. Let me walk into the room and then let me perform well and execute and accomplish my goals. My prayer used to just stop at God, let this opportunity come. It came, but I barely walked through that mud. So, all in all, we just got to stop asking for permission to be seen. Because really, you're asking for permission to be accepted. And you're not going to get that until you show up and show people what you got. You can dream up the fans. You can dream up the supporters. You can dream up the naysayers. You can dream up the haters. But you're really not going to know who loves you, who vibes with you, who you can impact until you do the damn thing. Just looking over to see if there's anything else I missed. Lastly, I want to tell you what and there is a cost to dimming your light. And that cost that keeps you shrinking really starts with the echo. So just like you're good at listening to your intuition, that echo is going to talk to you through your intuition. So it's that persistent, committed, hella annoying voice that I love so much because it guides so many places. But in the moment when you're not activated and you don't show up with fire, that voice is so persistent. It's like an alarm just blaring in your ear. And you keep pushing snooze, and you keep pushing snooze, and you keep pushing snooze, and it keeps showing up. It might be silenced longer in some seasons because you finally, I don't know what happens, but in some seasons it is silenced. But there's other times and moments, even after those silent seasons, that it comes back up, that reminds you of your gift, reminds you of your, I don't like to really say calling, but it reminds you of like the projects, of the things that you have in you to share with this world. And it's going to keep reminding you until you do it. And the only way to kind of get out of that overwhelming sound and echo is to show up. And the more you show up, the quieter it gets, or it gets new ideas that help you kind of see yourself through. But if you're just stagnant, it's just doing this. That's all it's doing. The second one is you miss the impact. Like you miss being able to show up and make a difference and just get it out of your system. Like showing up and doing whatever you're called to is literally, for me at least, like an energy release. It's like I get to put down heavy bags. I get to release it. I get to let it out. And so I'm not just carrying it around, which leads to anxiety. So once you show up, you get to make an impact. If you don't show up, it's an impact you're not making. I will get personal here too and let y'all know that I used to get anxious and feel guilt for not showing up, just because my content is mental health, and I wonder who I can impact and who I'm not impacting by staying quiet. So I don't know what that looks like for you, but how does you staying small benefit the people that are attached to your calling? And the third, the fortune you are denying yourself. You are denying yourself a fortune every time you decide not to show up. Not only do we get the dreams and the visions of and the plans of how to execute these things, but we also see how it will pay off and the struggles and the sacrifice of showing up and God just blessing us in many different ways simply for showing up. You kind of just write off your fortune when you don't do it. It's your freedom, honestly. That is your freedom. The freedom you pray for and keep praying for, but then you go to the room or the stage and then you decide to go sit in the crowd or, shrink yourself. You're really just like, I don't really want my freedom. You can have it back. That's a lie. So you've been waiting for somebody to tell you that you belong. Nobody's coming with the permission slip. You're already in the room, so act like it. If this is it for you, go ahead and comment, like, share, subscribe. Send this to a friend that is sitting in the crowd instead of being on the stage they belong on. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all. I'm on my way out after the video, and I wanted to share my excuses with you today for why I could have almost not showed up. So the first one being that I went to a little happy hour lunch, and it was hot outside, and I just got so tired from eating good. So I really would have just liked to go home and go take a nap, and I would have been like, oh, on top of that, we kind of got there late, and so it was almost to the point where it was like, do I go record or do I just stay and enjoy this and just relax for the rest of the day because I'm off early. So I compromised and came a little bit later to recording and then did my video as you just saw. But really part of me was like, I could just, reschedule for another day, even though there's not another session for a couple of days. So I showed up, and yeah, I'm still postpartum, and not really sleeping a whole lot because my son is teething currently. So those are all the reasons I couldn't have showed up. But I did. Your turn.